This is a cutting edge and RFM. You know, so we want, all right. Me don't know if people, it's a movie. Me love movie, you know. Me I tell you, me love movie. So some actors me know, but me don't know if the listener them know them actors still. But me know you have listeners out there who know certain actor. You have an actor named Charlie Sheen. I don't know if people watch certain movie, but Charlie Sheen, him kind of end up in a whole heap of different kind of movie. Him have a series on TV name. I'm thinking of 2.5 man or something. Some 2.5 something. Anyway, him in that series there. And him also in some series where spook different movies. And him also acting in movies like killer. Like him is a killer still. They tell him acting a comedy show too. But Charlie Sheen coming at the news last week. Big. A week before last. We never get to play it because we did not play the Gaddafi thing last week. But Charlie Sheen, this actor out of Hollywood, say he want to sit down with Obama for 20 minutes and discuss the World Trade Center bombing. He want to sit down with Obama for 20 minutes and discuss what really happened in New York for 9/11. What really happened. Charlie Sheen. We get all of the tape. People always wonder where we get them things from. Muta, where you get them things from? But from the artist's mouth, we play them tape. You know, we not talk about the tape them again. You know, we play them because this is the age of science and technology. And some of it still deal with mythology. Words from Linton Kwesi Johnson. But we want to play Charlie Sheen vibes. I know. Two things we're going to play at tape here. Well, we might go in at 3 things still. As I said, depending on how we take it, because we write down where we want to play tonight. Yeah. We want to play a follow-up to, for those of you who listen Cutting Edge, a couple weeks ago we played a clip from a television network where a person, a reverend, stand up on the pulpit and I tell him congregation say, him want to see Obama dead. Him want to see Michelle Obama become a widow. Him say the Bible tell you say Obama should die. Should melt like a worm. The man pan him pulpit him tell people that. The next day, a man turn up at one of Obama meeting them, town meeting them, with a gun shot on him back and a gun in him waist. This is a preacher. No. We want to play a tape. We want to play a clip from a Republican. I mean, no, say, I hope people never hear it, you know. You know, I hope people never hear it, you know, because people are listening, but them not hear nothing. Aye, sir. Well, I tell you about racism. You know, say, Jimmy Carter get up, and we talk about it already too. Jimmy Carter get up and say, the guy will jump up in the house and call Obama a liar. Him say, it based up off of racism. Because Obama black, why you see certain things are going on. And the CIA, the FBI say that the threat for Obama's life since January is 400% more than any other president. And it is recorded and documented that racism has gone up in America. Racism is on the increase in America. Till now, all we can hear on them network now, you know. Is it possible? Because even when we named the internet last week, you know. That is why I mentioned John F. Kennedy, you know. And that is why I mentioned Martin Luther King. These little idiot people on the other channel, they will realize where Gaddafi are put to them, you know. Gaddafi, I tell them, say, boy, right now, you still in a problem, you know, because, watch out. My boy, John F. Kennedy, for him, murder not get solved yet, you know. We don't know if a man, if Lee Oswald get killed by Jack Ruby, and Jack Ruby, I mean, we them need to investigate it. But here, where am I into say, look, man, We have a president there right now where the possibilities of him being assassinated is getting closer and closer and closer. That even tonight, pan Fox channel, tonight pan channel, them a argue, them a debate about it. Because a man has suggest, say, the possibilities is increasing based upon what is going on right now in America. The possibility is increasing that there might be an attempt. I mean, visible attempt, because we have tapes of attempts already. We get quashed before it reach any level. I true we not play them, but we have tapes where them find the possibilities of assassination, where them get them squash it before it reach anywhere. But here we know. Racism. We play this tape where it'll tell you, say, the preacher tell Obama should die. He should melt like a worm. And the Bible, he will show you in the Bible that God say Obama should die. And the reason why he did I say that was because of the Obama government supporting abortion. All right, now. You think say it done this, so? It not done this, so? We're going to get a clip now of a Republican talking about Michelle Obama. A Republican talking about Michelle Obama. And guess what? Him go apologize the next day. Say him never really mean what him say. But here we know, we're going to play it. We're not going to tell you when him call Obama, when him call Mrs. Obama, you know. We're going to play it, make you hear it. Because I know say no other radio station nah play it. Them nah play it. This Republican call Michelle Obama. And we're not going to tell you when him call her, but we're going to play when him call her. But first, we want to play the Charlie Sheen thing, where Charlie Sheen want questions to be answered about the 9/11. Him asking for questions to be answered. It needed to be answered and answered immediately, because there's certain thing that is unanswered in the whole scenario of the 9/11 thing. So, make we play it. Make we see if we can line it up here, so, and play it for the people then. This is the Cutting Edge and RFM. We can see if I hit this. All right, now. Charlie Sheen.
No warning signs that I'm aware of.
It was a revelation that the White House had no intention of making public.
President Bush was told in August that Osama bin Laden might be planning an attack involving the hijacking.
Could have predicted.
Nobody in our government, at least.
August 6th, PDP.
I believe the title was Bin Laden Determined to Attack Inside the United States.
70% of family members' questions were never answered during the 9/11 Commission report.
Lee Hamilton and Thomas Keane said they were set up to fail.
I mean, I'm a member of the commission. It's a scam. It's absolutely disgusting.
The questions, Mr. President. The questions.
Building 7 ablaze at the moment and apparently getting ready to collapse.
Building 7. Free fall collapse.
Well, no, there's number 7 coming down. The excitement and the fun that people get watching an old building being demolished, and they wired very carefully for days, and it's a very careful operation.
Third time today. It's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
This one things to us is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy.
You're getting information now that one of the other buildings, Building 7, in the World Trade Center complex, is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing.
The Pentagon. Vanishing airplane.
From my close-up inspection, there's no evidence of a plane having crashed anywhere. Is the actual side of the building that's crashed in, and as I said, the only pieces left that you can see are small enough that you could pick up in your hand. There are no large tail sections, wing sections, a fuselage, nothing like that anywhere around, which would indicate that the entire plane crashed into the side of the Pentagon.
Firefighters and police describing explosions. A lot of them.
The secondary explosion. We've got numerous people covered with dust from the secondary explosion.
Just floor by floor instead of popping out.
It was if they had detonated.
Yeah,
detonated. They were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
Looks sort of like the building just demolished.
Even if there was no secondary explosives in the building.
Kind of like gunfire. You know, bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden, 3 big explosions.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
Chief Albert Turry told me that he tried to get his men out as quickly as he could, but he said that there was another explosion which took place, and then an hour after there was another explosion in one of the towers here.
Sibel Edmonds, FBI translator, breaking her gag order.
All our intimate relationship with Bin Laden and Taliban. We did carry very intimate relationship with these people all the way up to September 11th.
Bin Laden was spirited into this military hospital in Rawalpindi for kidney dialysis treatment. The military had him surrounded. They were saying that Osama bin Laden had to be watched carefully and looked after.
NORAD, standing down. Where were the planes?
On now to one of the eeriest moments amid the carnage of 9/11. A mysterious plane was seen flying right over the president's residence.
The E-4Bs over New York and Washington, otherwise known as the Doomsday Planes.
It has never been officially explained.
Cell phones working at impossible altitudes. Solicitor General Ted Olson receiving phone calls that the FBI says were never made.
What happened during that call? This is the only information we have on these terrorists.
She was able to call him twice. How she could pull that off, we don't know, but she did.
These are the questions, Mr. President. These are the questions. They go on and on.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I come to you today representing the families of the victims of September 11th, as well as millions of my fellow Americans. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to read my letter to you, 20 Minutes with the President, and if not, at least had its contents brought to your attention. We have questions, Mr. President. Lots of questions. A lot of them are detailed in my letter, but trust me, there are hundreds more questions. As my letter chronicles, sir, the 9/11 Commission itself says they were lied to, deceived, and essentially prevented from carrying out a real investigation. People of the United States and the world demand the truth, sir.
We have to continuously ask questions. That's what a patriot does. That's what a true American does. We ask questions.
You, sir, have the power as well as the responsibility to initiate a truly independent congressional investigation into the events of 9/11 as well as its aftermath. We want our country back, Mr. President. Therefore, I'm not just calling on you and your team. I'm calling on each and every American citizen to wake up, stand up, and demand the truth. We're counting on you, Mr. President. Be on the right side of history.
Yes. So Charlie Sheen, a well-known actor.
They weren't asking to block an investigation. An investigation must not interfere with the ongoing efforts to prevent the next attack.
Senator Tom Daschle said last week that you called him several times and urged him not to investigate the events of September 11th.
Tom's wrong. He has, I think, in this case, let's say a misinterpretation.
Yeah, if you want to see that video, Infowar.com. Infowar.com. Yes. As we said, Charlie Sheen, well-known actor, is now on the wagon of answers that is needed for what took place, call it the 9/11. Man asks question now. He want to sit down with the President Obama and find out exactly what happened, what really happened. So that is one clip here from the archives here. We want to play the next clip, you know. The next clip is the one where we are talking about Michelle Obama. May I tell you, man. All right, the Michelle Obama one. I could see if we can find it quick, you know. Republican. Where the Republican there? All right, see me, huh? Catch him red and...
One story I want to squeeze in.
All right. This next one we're going to play now is really like a follow-up to the one we played a couple of weeks ago. And also, there's one that I have cannot be played on the radio. May I tell you, say, well, if I was HBO, but here I know. Them go in a tourist area in Israel and buck up some students, young people, white Israeli and some American who have spent holiday down there. And the question was, what you think about Obama? And me I tell you, you never hear things like what them say. Yet, it's unbelievable what the youth them say, the white youth them, and the Jewish youth them say about Obama. And all of the slur them is racist slur. It's racist, just racist. I mean, serious racist slur. All right now. So, we want to play this next clip now from TYT, the Young Turks Network, youngturks.com. That is where we are played from, youngturks.com. Listen to this. All right, where were they? Make we catch it, yeah. Here goes.
Wow. This is the third time this...
Wait there. See it? Wrong clip is all. I could come up with this again. That clip, there is a next clip. Well, so much clip we want to play, you know. And so much of them clip we well want to play for the people, you know, but we don't know if we can play some of them for them. We have to find the clip. We're going to find the clip. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. As we have said, we have so much clips we would have loved play. Some of them can't play upon the ear. But if you should have the ear them, man, you would have marvel to know so them things there. I say, and I go on in the earth. Anyway, we say we are going to tell you now, we're going to play this clip, you know, from this television network, you know. Here go, because if we line it up properly.
Republican official from the state of South Carolina. And he has said some things that are unfortunate and unjustifiable. He's going to try to justify them anyway. Let's go to a CNN report on this issue. Clip number 3.
A longtime Republican activist says he was only joking when he made comments about the First Lady, Michelle Obama. He says he's sorry if he offended anybody, but his critics say that's not enough. Ben Hoover of CNN affiliate WIS has the story from Columbia, South Carolina.
The story first hit the blog FitzNews.com Friday night with a headline reading, SCGOP activist post remark disparaging First Lady. The activist is this man, Rusty DePass, a former state Senate candidate and former state election commission chairman. The article shows an entry DePass posted on Facebook, commenting on the gorilla that escaped from Riverbank Zoo Friday. It says, quote, I'm sure it's just one of Michelle's ancestors, probably harmless. DePass tells me he was talking about First Lady Michelle Obama, seen here speaking at SC State during the presidential campaign. Bob Coble, mayor of Columbia, and one of DePass's political rivals, condemns the comment.
You know, I think the comment is inappropriate. It's a racist comment. I think Mr. DePass should apologize.
I spoke with DePass over the phone Friday night. He says, quote, I am as sorry as I can be if I offended anyone. The comment was clearly in jest.
You know, I don't think there's anything funny about that comment. That is the First Lady of the United States. We've had a long tradition of wonderful First Ladies. And I don't think any of them deserve that type of comment.
DePass took his apology a bit further. He also told me, quote, the comment was hers, not mine, telling me the First Lady made statements in the media recently saying we are all descendants of apes. A Google search of that topic turned up no news articles of the like.
I don't know of any.
All of that aside, the mayor wants a clear-cut apology.
Rusty DePass is well known in the community, and is I know he's done many very good things in addition to his political work. I don't want a comment like that coming out of Columbia, South Carolina for the world to comment on.
That was Bob Hoover of CNN affiliate WIS in Columbia, South Carolina. The Facebook comment that sparked the controversy has since been removed.
Oh, really? I don't see why. Look, you get a comment like this that is just about as offensive as it could possibly be, and still we get an apology where it says, I'm sorry as I can be if I offended anyone. Come on, can anyone do a real apology anymore in America? If I offended you by calling you a gorilla, I'm sorry? Of course you offended people, of course. And I don't see how he cannot see that this is going to set off a firestorm, be seen as offensive. I mean, what world does he live in where he thinks, well, I can call the black first lady gorilla and nothing will happen? And forget about whether something's going to happen, whether there's consequences involved or not. Don't you feel uncomfortable as a human being? Well, I would say a decent human being, but that's what's in question here. Calling somebody, basically a gorilla and referring to them as an ancestor. Come on. And the problem is somewhat with me, because I continue to be in this naive belief that people think like I do. And some people just do not think like I do. They view that kind of racism as perfectly normal. And then so when they're surprised by it too, they go, well, I guess if I offended anyone by calling them a gorilla, I mean, they're black, but if I offended them, yeah, I guess, golly gee willikers, that might hurt my political career. I'll say I'm sorry. It's not really that good enough. So take that apology for what it's worth, and it's not worth much.
Watch a live show.
Yes, so for those of you who don't hear it clearly, but this Republican man, some animal gorilla escaped from a zoo, and him say the gorilla must be Michelle Obama's ancestor. If you want to see some of these clips that we have, that we keep playing, there is the youngturks.com. Young, youngturks.com. The youngturks.com is a television network that is very, what in America they call very left. Yes. But, yes, may I tell you, man, it's from left to right, man. They attack, dip on it, heaping up Michelle Obama likened to a gorilla. You think them people they easy? Them not easy at all. But no, one of the main one we want to play for is this one. Week before last, we did talk about the swine flu. Because we not call it H1N1, nothing at all. A swine flu it name. They want to come mask it now with letters. It named swine flu. Now, it come out now more and more that the swine flu vaccination, I want to listen to this now. The swine flu vaccination that is going to be mandatory in America soon. Some states it is. The swine flu vaccination was made patent before the swine flu. I wonder if you hear what I say. The vaccine for swine flu was registered by pharmaceutical company before the swine flu itself. It's a serious thing. Now, families all over America is fighting this procedure that says that children should be vaccinated for the swine flu. And this is one of the things that the government are saying now, that you need to vaccinate your children from swine flu. How can a vaccine for a disease be made before the disease? That sounds like something contrived. Like them didn't know, say them not going to have the swine flu. Or them didn't know, say them not going to make the swine flu. And guess what now? We'll go back to Gaddafi you know. Because Gaddafi said that the swine flu was created, that the vaccine, the pharmaceutical company, them can make a vaccine to make money. And it's like, when you listen to the television, it's like, it's like, weird, this guy is madman. Where we get them foolishness there from? Well, you know, people say Bin Laden not have nothing to do with the 9/11 something. And there is a conspiracy theory that says that it's Bush. Bush didn't know about it, and Bush held planet. And people say, where them get them foolishness there from? Now we hear more and more, well, in Jamaica what we call tapanaris people ask the question, them need investigation, including this brother who we just played named Charlie Sheen. We say he want to talk to Obama for 20 minutes for talk for the people them who lose them life in this thing. All right now. So we have a next thing now named swine flu. And now they make a vaccine now and them say because it a come long now to fall where people have more flu in America. And really and truly, people usually take vaccine for normal flu. For flu in America. But now they have a next vaccine now for this swine flu. And this swine flu is now supposed to be the flu of all flus. Aye, Sam, I tell you, them people I know Rasta. Them people I know. All right, we're going to play this swine flu thing. We're going to play the swine flu thing. Where them I tell you, say, them actually did patent the H1N1 vaccine. Them patented long before the swine flu come out. So I could say if you can't catch it now. I could say if you can't catch this now. I could make it here.
H1N1 vaccine patent filed 28th August 2008 before the virus was spread. This article by StuWeb.com. Here is the smoking gun on the phony flu scare. Hyperlinks and more info. Click more info to open on right hand side of the screen. Kistner Pharma filed the patent of H1N1 vaccine on 28th August 2008 before the virus was spread. This is the US Patent Office document. Go to page 7, number 0056 and see for yourself. That's in a StuWeb.com link. In more info, it'll be the one at the top. It'll have a PDF there, which will be the most relevant for that. How could the vaccine come before the virus? Because the vaccine has the virus in it. They say they are trying to protect you from. Even if dead, it can come to life, says Dr. Cully and many others. Don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. Repost and email everywhere. Question: what is the difference between a needle shot in your arm and a bullet shot through your brain? Answer: with a bullet shot through your brain, your death will be quick and painless. With a needle shot in your arm, your death will be slow, painful, and very profitable for drug companies. More people have died from vaccination than from swine flu. The end of highlights from Stu Webb's article. My relevant playlist and more links discuss next slide with action needed to stop forced deadly disease inoculations. They are not immunizations, as we've been misled.
Okay.
I also have 2 relevant playlists, that is YouTubes, that will play one after another. After clicking, play all below more info.
Okay,
box.
so this brethren...
Swine and bird flu bioweapon, 115 videos, and always adding new ones as I find and make. Vaccines, the true weapons of mass destruction, all 15 parts, by Dr. Rebecca Carley. also at drcarly.com, who says no such thing as a safe vaccine. Free MP3 interviews there, and also on also has archives on a Marines disquisition, and AmericanFreedomRadio.com/project_Camelot_09 with Jane Burgermeister and an Austrian lady who is pressing charges against Hu and Baxter and politicians in many places and progressing. Also on my...
All right, we want to stop it. The man I give you some information. Maybe you might go too fast, you get information still, but where I'm actually send you go is some web page and some sites where you can get information about this vaccine. You must say the vaccine kill more people than the swine flu. But there is a woman, an Austrian woman, that is actually suing. And this is serious, you know. The woman is actually suing companies all over the world right now. And believe it or not, we have an interview with this woman I talk about this swine flu epidemic and the vaccination that is surrounding the swine flu. The interview is about 50 minutes long. She named Jane Burgermeister, Burgermeister, Jane Burgermeister, and she talks about different things, but she's now going to sue companies. It's not. I mean, we might not hear about it in Jamaica, you know, but it's a big thing going out of the world, you know, because you see, what happen now. You see, when them find out say the thing now work and people are lobby against it, you're gonna find say them vaccination they end up in a third world countries, you know. My word, you know, me I tell you that. You saw AIDS take over third world countries and it now start in a third world country. AIDS take over the whole of the third world. Africa, India, the Caribbean have the most AIDS victim in the world. Guess what? AIDS never started in none of them countries. But it control the whole of the levels now. That all sex come like a no. People have to you know, precautions and this and that now because of this AIDS virus. I saw it, the AIDS virus, it start out the same way like I hear the swine flu thing I go on here, you know. For those of you too young for know, you know. Same way you see this swine flu thing I go on and a linger, you know. I same way the AIDS thing did I go on and a linger, you know. Till it take over Africa, it take over anywhere third world, it take over the whole third world. And then people tell you, say, boy, right now, yes, you see, they know sex, this and sex, that, and it's God punishment for promiscuity and all these things. When it's them create the thing, and it get to from them. So now the guys, them create a vaccine for something that never exists. And then now the thing exists now, so them want to make money off of the something now. But it's so like conspiracy theory. But conspiracy theory can be validated if when you look and the evidence them out there, it connect. Because a conspiracy theory can't just be a conspiracy theory and a man can't just say, well, right now, everybody just come up with conspiracy theory. Like them have a conspiracy theory say, the Illuminati kill Michael Jackson. All them thing there. We don't know why everyone play that for the radio, but we have a tape here where the guys them know and say, the Illuminati kill Michael Jackson. And them are sure why them kill him. Me not agree with that. Me not agree with no Illuminati that kill Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson dead because he just jog out. Him love to watch drugs and him doctor help him. But you hear me I say now, conspiracy theory. If you have a theory about something and when you look at the evidence them out there, you can see it a move in a certain trend, just like the AIDS thing. The AIDS thing started out as a conspiracy theory, you know. But when you look on the evidence them out there, you know, it's the same thing with the 9/11 thing, you know. The 9/11 thing, when people hear about, you know, the involvement of America in the 9/11 thing, you know, people say conspiracy theory. Even now, but guess what now? More and more of them kind of people a question. If it's really just a theory, or you can validate these things by looking at certain evidence that is presented. So now we reach the vaccine now. We reach the swine flu now. And there's so much things surrounding this swine flu thing. And me I mark my word, you know, me I tell you now. You see, we are going in America, you may not know, but there's so much demonstration are going in America against this vaccine, this mandatory vaccine, when now the government of America put on people. So you have to vaccinate to picnic them, especially now when fall come around now, when the place get cold, more people susceptible to flu. And even though America, them say 30,000 people dead from flu every year in America. And them a claim now say 30,000 people are got dead from flu this year in America, from swine flu. So if you don't show a little sign of anything now, here say swine flu you have. Just like how them go to Africa. And because them not testing the people them for certain things other than AIDS. If you come up with pneumonia, them say AIDS you have. If you come up with some little thing, them say AIDS you have. So guess what them do now? Them give you the treatment for AIDS. And it's the government them, it's some of the government them in Africa, you know. Like all Uganda, you know, realize, but wait. Why every time black people sick in Africa, on the start says AIDS them have, and then I treat them for AIDS. A whole heap of them are sick, and them did always are sick all the while for certain things. So we don't want you to come to Africa and come and test people, and when you see them have cold, and when you see them have flu and them things, you start to talk about the AIDS them have, and I give them the treatment for AIDS. So it's like the African government, them catch on the rake. You know, see it? And Africa, AIDS never started Africa. Like what them I tell you say, green monkey this and green monkey that. And in a first world country, AIDS start. Alright. So the vaccine come now, and them tell you, remember them tell you about Mexico, you know. They are Mexico, remember I say, Mexico, them tell the thing. It jump from the genes of the swine and jump in the human beings, you know. And then now, them start to fret about it. Alright. So we do a program on the H1, the virus. And now we're going to take it further now. We're going to tell you, say, the guys them make the vaccine for cure the flu. And then patent the vaccine for cure the flu when the flu wasn't a problem. And now them claim that swine flu is a threat to the point where now them have you scared. Scared. When we say scared, people scared right now. And so they make a vaccine now. And then the people them in the first world countries them like Europe and some sensible people in America are demonstrate viciously against the vaccine for the flu epidemic. Where them call it epidemic. But guess what now? Mark my word, man. You see, this flu epidemic, because you come through the airport in Jamaica now, and you have a woman stand up before you reach immigration, I give you a little card. Now, believe you me, man, I smile when I see that card there now. You know why? Because I remember, it's only when you go to Africa or Haiti, when you write, say you come from, them ask you, name the countries that you have visited in the past 6 weeks. On the paper. For those of us who travel know say that they on the paper. Whether you come from America or you go in America. On the immigration form them say, name the countries that you have traveled in the past 6 weeks. So you have to put on, well, before you reach America, you did go at this country, that the country, and that the country. Alright, when you are coming to Jamaica now, them have it on the paper. But here now, it's weird now. Because usually, when you tell them, say, you come from places like Nigeria, Ghana, Haiti, and one of them countries they know, them give you the card. Them give you the card because they must say, no, if by chance, over a period of a little 6 weeks or so, if you start to feel any little flu symptoms and them thing there, report to the Ministry of Health. All right now. Believe you me, For those of you who come through the airport regular, like how we go through the airport. No, when you go through the airport, when you land in Jamaica, and you reach, before you reach the immigration, the plane them will come from America. You get the card. But if the card is where them give you that, like how America is really a zone right now. Can you imagine that, man? Can you imagine America in the same position like Haiti or Africa now when it come on to virus? That you will get card to tell you, so now, if you start to feel a little way when you go home for the next maybe 3 or 4 weeks, report to the Ministry of Health, because it's America you come from. So the guys them going to make sure say we get the vaccine, for help we. Yeah, man, especially like how we have both say 1 million tourists come to Jamaica this year, yeah? And most of them is from America. That vaccine. And guess what? Them go and do it like the vaccine where them give picnic. We say, boy, you can't come to school without you get the vaccination. What a terrible thing, though, eh? What a terrible thing we find ourselves in. You carry your picnic go to school for educate your picnic, and them are going to put something on you now. We are telling you, say, boy, right now, in order to prevent a certain kind of disease from move amongst the school population, them are going to give you a vaccine to prevent that. So every child who go to school is supposed to get that in order not to make the disease spread in the school. But guess what now? You have people who go to school and catch flu and catch whatsoever them catch and pass it on to the people them. And we don't really hear no people are dead. And it's not because them take vaccination, because the vaccination build up another aspect of them another problem in them. With them now check. Because them give the people them the vaccination with intention to prevent that aspect. But the repercussions round the corner, couple of years down the line, with them now check, is our next problem. So, this vaccination thing, where them really are push from people in America right now, my word. My word, we're reached long here. Because see if we can find some more things there.
That's where it's coming from. We have been discussing for many months, both by emails and of course on your great show, the evidence that in fact, which is to me overwhelming, that this is indeed a quote reverse engineered laboratory created virus structure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, we talked about the Novartis patent, which was actually issued in 2009, February, just this year, and paragraph 32 of that patent says this vaccine that Novartis is creating it says the word may be to combat a reverse enginered virus. Okay, so there's a may.
It's right in their patent wording, huh?
Right in their patent wording. So, wait a minute. Well, I had a great 4-day conference in Kalispell, Montana. I spent an average of 5 hours a day on live radio, which was simulcast all over the planet, really. I got calls from all over the place. Okay, it was a great opportunity. And the crux of this whole conference is declaring the evidence that this is indeed a man-made event. From day one, starting in 1997, with Jeffrey Taubenberger and his work at Fort Detrick, and the reverse engineering of the 1918 killer virus. Okay, so there's not enough time to go into all that in this hour, but let me just kind of recap. I had a caller come in and asked about the MedImmune flu mist product that was primarily being touted as the vaccine that will be given to all these school-age children, right?
Right, sure.
So So they were asking what do we know about that? What's the live virus structure of this? Can you find out anything about it? Well, wait a minute. I thought, well, if Novartis patented their IV injection, right? Their intramuscular vaccine, surely MedImmune might do the same thing. So on a hunch, I went in and searched the U.S. Patent Office's database for anything with MedImmune, and I got to tell you what I came up with will just blow your mind.
Okay, we'll do that in just a minute. Hang on. Note just in now, over 2,000 students at Washington State University already stricken with swine flu during the first 2 weeks of classes. Talk about creating amazing petri dishes for this stuff to just explode. The school settings are perfect. Couldn't be any better. And then they get to take it home to the parents, and that's how it runs. Be right back with Dr. A. True Ott, PhD, ND, in just a couple minutes. Washington State University handing out to the students flu kits, including a thermometer, painkillers, throat lozenges, sport drinks, hand sanitizer, and tissues. Most students have the illness for 3 to 5 days, says the university, calling it discomfort. So far, not unexpected. So far, so good in terms of mortality. Although, when you do read the data from the nation's schools as a whole, there are a lot of young people who are dying unnecessarily. So we'll see where this goes. Go ahead, True, please.
Well, as I was saying before the break, I wanted to find out as much as I could about what was going into this MedImmune nasal spray, okay? Because that's what's going to be given according to all of the data we've got from health departments to the nation's school children. So I came across a patent under MedImmune that I did a double take. I says, can this be real?
Whose patent is it?
This was applied for and issued to MedImmune Company, which is right down the street from Fort Detrick in Rockville, Maryland, right? Yeah.
Right.
And it was the title was benign enough, unless you're a crazy researcher, you're not going to be reading these boring patent documents. But this one, just because it had MedImmune on it, I thought this is interesting. It was basically the title was how to structure the H and N proteins of a virus, right? Well, digging into this 148-page patent that was granted in 2008, my jaw dropped off the floor because guess what? It is this virus that we're talking about now.
2008.
Yeah, they actually patented this virus.
They knew.
You're talking, I say this because they list all of the gene clades that were basically
unreal
forced on this.
I got it.
Okay? And I'm sitting here, and I bounced it off of 3 microbiologists to make sure that I'm right on this. I make sure I'm not reading something into it. And they didn't email me back. They called me on the phone, and they said, this is beyond belief. You're absolutely right. They're patenting this recombinant swine flu / human flu / bird flu, and here's how they did it. Again, you compare the verbiage in this patent and go back to the 6 years of papers published by Taubenberger, Terence Tompe, and others in the team,
right?
And it's word for word. So it becomes very clear you're patenting this for one reason and one reason only. You're going to use it as a worldwide weapon. I mean, think about it. I mean, if I were to come up with a breakthrough in a laser that zaps somebody, wouldn't I want to patent that before I implemented it to the military? MedImmune received the... Isn't
it funny, True, how these people come up with death and they still think about the buck They want to make sure they get their profits.
Well, it's just so stunning because the MetaImmune spray, what makes it unique to them is the structure of the viruses in it. Because you're talking a live virus structure in this spray. Now, let's make sure that listeners clearly understand what we're talking about here. This MetaImmune spray is planned on being given to kindergarten through 8th grade, middle school kids primarily, in the schools through Kathleen Sebelius' HHS program. This is a painless little spray. They'll come in, squirt, 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 and they'll give it just down the line. But you'll be shedding, these children will be shedding these live viruses everywhere they go for anywhere from 3 to 21 days.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. They are with you. With us pass on the information them, Yes. I just said about 3 weeks ago, we had a sister upon the program from London. I remember them say 100 or 1,000 people was infected in England by the swine flu. Would I think say about half of that would have dead by now? People are easy, Them people are not easy at all. Would I think say about half of them, about 50,000 people are dead from the swine flu in England already when them say 100,000 people have it. And we're going to find out, say, a normal flu the people them have, But guess what? It's true them want to give them the vaccine. Because according to where we are here now, it's like the vaccine didn't make before for sell. So in order to sell the vaccine now, the guys them just unleash out this flu to sell the vaccine. Because that is how we have to make money. And we'll see that happen already. And you hear the man that mentioned Fort Detrick, it's the same place AIDS come from. Same place. Maryland, America. Where them used to tell we say, the monkey them in Africa did have sex. And man start eat the monkey them. A long time African eat the monkey there. A long time them African they eat the monkey there and them never have no AIDS. So how come African have AIDS? How come AIDS start to Africa? And the first place it happened, it wasn't in Africa. The first place them realized about AIDS is not in Africa. Can you remember them tell you say AIDS originated in Haiti? Yeah, for those of you too young to remember these things, Them they say AIDS originated in Haiti one time, And then them say the Cuban them carried go Africa during the war when the Cuban them go down there with to fight the war them where they down there. And then eventually now them start to tell you say it's really a homosexual disease because them find out say a whole heap of ones in San Francisco that get AIDS. And them find out say why right it's a serious thing till all movie stars start get AIDS. The movie star will make the thing bust out more was a movie star named Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was a star where all the ladies in Hollywood did love. Only for come find out say Rock Hudson was a homosexual. So them start to label now homosexuals with AIDS and start to say AIDS is a homosexual disease. But the reason wasn't a homosexual disease. But them plan it away there for brand black people and homosexuals as the people them who really need for wipe out. The people are not easy, So the disease get away from them and circulate in the heterosexual community too. And them start to say it's because the homosexual them is bisexual them, a whole heap of things them did say. Well, now we see AIDS is a serious pandemic all over the world, especially in third world countries. We see it just flourish and flourish and flourish. We soon come forward. This is the Cutting Edge IRFM.
Jackson presents the most attractive comedy play, Man and Woman Problems, featuring Jamaica's Michael Jackson. Saturday, October 3, St. Mary High School High. Get tickets at Pass Pharmacy, 1,000 pre-sold at 1,200 at the gate. Sunday, October 4, Just Cheers, St. Anne's Bay. Tickets at Square One Supermarket and Just Cheers, 1,000 pre-sold at 1,200 at the gate. Man and Woman Problems.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. We are read an email here where we just get from Switzerland, and we not divert, but it was something pertaining to what we did talk about in the beginning of the program, where we did a call upon, where we always a call upon them, and I wonder why is it that church don't pay tax when them a collect more heap of money. Well, somebody emailed me from Switzerland saying, "Greetings, Muta Baruka. Where I am residing at the moment in Switzerland, citizens pay a compulsory church tax unless you claim to be an atheist. You are pretty close with the 10% estimate. As a foreigner, when I registered at the City Hall at Rat House, I was surprised when they asked me my religion. I had never been asked that before by an official body. I was christened as a Roman Catholic, and due to the indoctrination, I felt that it would be blasphemous to deny it. It cost me dearly financially. When I requested to stop paying this tax, I received a letter from the parish priest informing me that my decision could ban me from being buried in their graveyard or other consecrated grounds." A nice example of Christianity. Enough respect. All right, that is coming from Switzerland. And them tell people that out so you know. So if you know pay your little 10%, you're gonna end up now if you get buried in the graveyard. Hey, pay your tax, you know, because you will have the privilege of being buried in the church graveyard. Well, I tell you, hey, I tell you, many people are easy, you know. Many people are easy at all. Sir. Anyway, so it's a worldwide thing. I will know that too. Church worldwide no pay tax, but we ask the question in Jamaica, why is it that church shouldn't pay tax? What is the logics behind church not paying tax in Jamaica in this time? In this time. We're not talking about 40, 50 years ago. We're talking about in this time. Okay, now, so we'll go back to the reasoning at large here. You know, for those of you, it must be on the internet, and we say, yeah, give thanks to internet because you can now go on internet for those of you who have access to certain book. But there was an experiment. This is not, and when we just said years ago, it was like, when Muta get them thing there from? Well, now everybody is privy to this information, and we want to tell you though, in the 90s, let me tell you about what I talk about first. There was an experiment carried out in a place named Tuskegee, in a university. And what was the experiment? They injected 300 black men with syphilis. This experiment is called the Tuskegee experiment. I cannot spell Tuskegee, Tuskekee, something like that. But if you go up on the internet, or you can find book about the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment was an experiment that was carried out on 300 black men. They injected syphilis in these black men to see the reaction on it. This was an experiment using black men. It was a female that blew the whistle upon the whole thing. A female found out that this thing was taking place and blew the whistle. Years after, President Bill Clinton apologized for the Tuskegee experiment. So this is not a conspiracy theory we are talking about just now. This is real thing, documentation, everything, where they experimented on 300 black male, inject them with syphilis. The president of America at the time, well, this did happen way down, but in the 90s, President Clinton actually apologized for that experiment that was carried out on black people. Now, there's an incident where they injected rats Well, I tell you, hey, people talk about deviousness. The people them who run with life, I mean, when you look at the newspaper every day, I say, man do this and man do that. It's a gruesome and cruel thing, But you see these guys where them tire choke them neck, and them in a white shirt every day with them tire choke them neck. You have some of them, and the most, them worse than the rapists and the gunman and the murderer we I hear about in a newspaper, And just that for them deeds, not come out blatantly in front away in the newspaper until somebody go investigate, but that's some wicked set of people, them, No matter make no coat and tie fool, But me not take no coat and tie fool nobody again. Because one time you see a man in a coat and tie, you just say yes, Yes, the man is a respectable man. See him have a coat and tie. When you see the dirty dreadlocks or what on the road, they say, yes, dirty boy, I don't want him come. Run. So the dirty locks head man, I come after you there. And him now come after you, him just across the road. Him just across the road. So you always watch the dirty head locks man. When you say a Rasta man, I walk down the road. But you see the coat and tie man now, the jacket and tie man, wearing a suit, Italian shoes. And him tie expensive, and him have on his nice watch pan him hand. And him held well high up, him here well high up and pierced up and all them thing there. Nobody now thinks that them man they have blood pan them fingers and them hand and them shoulder everywhere, Just them look alone exempt them from all of these wickedness. But trust me, the wickedest thing them, but go on and hurt you right now. And them see a man there, where you see dressed up in that kind of suit there. Them suit there where you see them on TV there. You think a man can get me just out of protest. Just out of mere protest. No guy. Him could have write for invitation a little more. Dress, formal, suit, black suit. He can't get me to put on one of them things there. No guy in the world can invite me go somewhere and get me to put on coat and tie and jacket and tie and tie it up in my neck. No guy. No formal dress, no casual dress can put me in a coat and tie. Because that is a symbol to me. Over the years, I look on it as a symbol. I mean, now I make myself look represented that in that way there. Because we know where these guys in a jacket and tie do. You see them on the TV every day. The holy of holies. Solving the world's problem economically, socially, politically, and religiously. All of them dressed up in a coat and tie. Looking at Parliament building. Show me one man in there who have a coat and tie. And then yet still, we trust them. You want a better example of that? Who trusts politician? Who trusts politician? Me don't know no politician in a Jamaica when no wear coat and tie. Because that is one of the rules and regulations also in the parliament. You have to dress a certain way. And when you look at these guys with them coat and tie, man. First of all, you look at the normal man on the road and you look at all the youth. Now, most of the youth, them have plot up them here now. And them have a marine and maybe a white marine and thing. Right away, you're afraid of them, You're scared of them. But make that same youth there pass you in a coat and tie. Make the same youth where you say have on the white marina, him ear plait up. And him have on a jeans. Pass you upon the road. You go that scared. But the next day, make that same youth they pass you with a coat and tie. And him ear well oil up, well comb out. You go that one, go shake him, man. Yeah, man. So coat and tie represent a certain imperialistic power. Coat and tie. You can't thief behind jacket and tie and don't look nowhere. You can murder behind jacket and tie and don't look nowhere. You can do all the evils in the world behind jacket and tie and don't look nowhere. And we see that are going right now. So the guy them mask the thing and put it in the people them and then come apologize years after. Say, boy, right now, this experiment carry out and I'm really sorry. Say it happened. Them really sorry. We see the virus come and destroy people. How can a man, who is these people who's creating these things to make money while destroying life? Who is these people? How can men sit down creating things to destroy life, but creating things also for you to take? Believe in that, you will be cured. And them sit down there and make them think there, you know. As I speak right now, you know, you have man where sit down a plan how to make a bullet where can do different things from where the bullet now can do, you know. You have man where sit down and I try figure out, them a try plan now, them a try figure out how to attack Iran. And them say according to the Iranian, for them nuclear facilities, we are underground, you know. And the American, them a plan now to make a bomb, almost 30,000 pound bomb. For penetrate, for go blow up the people, them nuclear place underneath the ground. So as I speak here now, you have men sit down, now them jacket and tie. A plan how them can kill off more people quicker than just a little pie gun. You have man who sit down and a plan that. I talk about man where you could have look on the TV and you respect them. Just like how you respect the preacher, where I promise you some wicked promises when you're dead. I'll to him is the same. Me put the preacher in the same position like and him in a jacket and tie to, you know. Him in a jacket and tie to, you know. Me put the preacher in the same category as the man where I make the bomb. We are plan to kill off more people quicker. Me put him the preacher in the same thing, you know, because the preacher I promise most whole heap of people for so them will get salvation. All them have to do is believe in Jesus Christ. It's a quick fix. Quick fix. Same jacket and tie, man. So them go around and them make this AIDS virus and them create the AIDS virus and the AIDS virus destroy people. And they make money off it, for the death of people, especially in third world countries. Now the new thing now is the swine flu. What a terrible thing. This is a continent, you know, an IRFM.
With over 55 years of baking experience, Golden Loaf Baking Company provides quality products generations have enjoyed. Hardos, bullers, spice and rock buns, grottas, pastries, cakes, sandwich breads, hot dogs, hamburger, and dinner rolls. Low sugar, whole grain, and multigrain breads. Golden Loaf, available island-wide.
Sale, backed by popular demand. Hardware Lumber's grand warehouse clearance sale has been held over. You asked for it, now you have it. This time in a bigger, more convenient location. Rapid True Valley Complex, Newport East. Sale starts October 3 at 9 a.m. and ends when you run out of stock. We're even open on Sunday. Bet your bottom dollar the prices will be even better this time around. On sanitary wear, paint, styles, lighting, locks, and much more. Everything must go. This clearance sale is still great to miss. Sales held over starting October 3 at 9 a.m. at Rapid True Valley Complex, Newport East. Buy more, spend less.
Vitamin C, Primo and the right thing for the whole family. Drink Primo every day doing work.
Primo is 100% pure orange juice. Primo is that fresh, wholesome orange juice for good nutrition. And guess what? There's no sugar added. Primo is healthier and tastier. So build a better body with
Where is the only place that 3 equals 10,000?
Let me do the maths and show you.
What's up, Legend? I am back on track.
Mondays to Fridays, August 31 to October 30. You have 3 chances every day to win $10,000. Every day to win $10,000.
Don't mean money.
In Suppligent text and win strong money promotion. Text the code behind your Suppligent vanilla and peanut labels to 444-2460 to enter. Answer your phone Monday to Friday, 12:30, 3:30, and 5:30 p.m. each day. And make sure you say Suppligent. Do more, live more. To make your money stronger, enter the Suppligent text and win strong money promotion from August 31 to October 30. Only on IRI FM. Suppligent. Do more, live more.
What's up, Legend? I am back on track.
Yeah, this is the coaching at 7 minutes past hour, 9 minutes past hour, 12 o'clock. Different day, them say. You know, I don't sit down here and think on this thing, you know, because I say, remember the times when people are here about all car, where you drive all a car and, you know, people are meeting enough accident. And you say, well, when am I going to make a car, we can do this. When am I make a car, can do that. Now, watch a man. You have car with map in it now, where all you have to do is just pressing which part you come from and pressing which part you go. And the car talk to you the whole the map thing talk to you the whole time till you reach which part you go. You have car now where you program the car, and if a man thief it and him a drive it, and you go find out anywhere him there, the car just lock down. In can't move the car again. In can't drive the car. You have car now where if you drive behind a car, it tell you say you drive too close to the car in front of you. And if you go reverse, it have a kind of screen we can make you see actually we are going behind you without looking at your rear view mirror. And the car, them actually attack to you. I tell you, say your door not close. You this, not that. So, them things that usually, what we usually see in some science fiction movie, and we usually say, well, them things they, if you tell your grandmother, say them things they possible, should I say, no, them things they not happen now. So I say, yes, them things they happen. It depends on TV, and you can't see it in real life. All you have to do is rent certain car in America and keep it over the time. You'd never move that car from which part you're there. Yeah, man. You have certain car place right now where you rent car from. And you say you rent the car for 2 days. That's a 224 hours. 48 hours. You say after 40, the 49th hour or the 58th hour, you don't care about the car there. Anywhere you're there with the car locked down for you. You can't move the car. So, you better know, say, science fiction and no fiction no more. So when we hear that, when you hear me tell you about how the man them are create certain things and I create this and I create that. A man could have said there are weird things them that, but when did I tell you 20, 15 years ago? It's no weird now. It is just weird at the time when we are saying it. So, we want to play this interview here, you know, with this woman here from Austria, where we just mentioned a while ago. The interview was done by Project Camelot. And the woman is Jane, what's her name again? Jane, I could find out her name. Yeah. Anyway, she depends on the thing, you know. So I could I want to say the interview kind of slow, but listen good, carefully to where I'm going. A very slow interview. Yeah, Jane Burgermeister, her name. Jane Burgermeister from Austria. This interview was done on the 8th of September 2009. So we are giving it official because this month it though. This month. This interview.
Some people have written to us and they said, look, you're not going to have a policeman with a gun knocking on your door accompanied by a doctor with a syringe. They haven't got the resources to do that. How actually enforce it if they wanted to, how could it happen? What would be the sanctions which they have?
Well, the French government released or circulated to the heads of departments an internal document of 19 pages which outlined quite clearly their method. And this is what I assume is happening in every country. They're going to set up vaccine centers that are outside hospitals and GPs. Some of these are going to be secure. People are going to be told to go there first of their own free will, and then they're going to receive calls, whatever, telling them to appear at a certain time. And those people who do not come are going to eventually be collected and forced to go there.
Do the resources exist to actually do that? Because you're talking about transporting and enforcing and rounding up and making contact with hundreds of thousands of people. And possibly
well,
many more than
absolutely. If so many people refuse, it will be impossible. But they are assuming that the vast majority of people will either go of their free will, or when they get the call from, say, a police authority telling them to appear, or the notification, they will go reluctantly, but they will still obey that call. And the number of people who will actually refuse to go and stay at home when they're informed it's a criminal offence not to go will be very small, and it will be a criminal offence not to go. However, if it turns out that hundreds of thousands and millions refuse to go, then they cannot carry it through. And that's why it's important for every single person to say no and not to go along with it.
This is Bill Ryan from Project Camelot, and I'm here in Vienna on the 8th of September 2009. I happen to be in Vienna because I've just returned from a conference in Poland, and I have just met Jane Burgermeister, who up until now has been a figure shrouded in mystery. And it's my great pleasure to introduce you visually to the world here by being the first person in the internet community to have made a trail to find out. And here I'm going to make a joke, whether you really exist or not, and I can demonstrate to everyone that you truly do. What, may I ask, Jane, was your response when you realised that you had an opportunity to basically to give a message to the world on camera, which is what I want to support you in being able to do?
Well, thank you, Bill, for, as I say, taking the trouble to come all the way here. And it's a bit off the beaten track here in Vienna. It is, however, a significant place, as it turns out. It is the place where Baxter contaminated 72 kilos of vaccine material with the live bird flu, and so nearly triggered a global pandemic just a few months ago in February. This attempt to trigger a pandemic failed because of the alertness of people in the Czech Republic who detected it in a laboratory in biotest. However, it has now turned out that Baxter still has at least a large amount of that 72 kilos of bird flu, and we're coming to a point where we have only perhaps a few weeks until the government here in Austria and other governments around the world intend to start injecting people with so-called swine flu vaccine material, which we have every reason to fear is going to be a big hazard to our health, and has been designed to be a hazard to our health, even if it isn't contaminated with the live bird flu virus, as it might well be. So my message that I want to give to people, if I can give any message, is that time is running short, that we all of us now have to recognize the scale of the threat and danger to us individually and collectively, and we need to take steps and organize to stop this mass vaccination program as soon as possible.
And as we were discussing when we were just chatting before we started this video interview, you feel a tremendous sense of urgency, don't you? This is driving you right now.
Well, unfortunately, we have seen how, in spite of mounting and growing protests in the USA and now in Europe, the latest polls show that 29% of the Germans are categorically going to refuse the swine flu vaccine. In spite of all that, the governments are pressing ahead relentlessly. WHO is pushing with tremendous determination this unwanted, unnecessary and dangerous program on us, and it's coming in just a few weeks.
what's interesting to me is that we, like you, get reports from all over the world, and it seems that governments in every first world nation, and maybe other nations too, seem to be preparing in almost like marching in step with this thing. This is coordinated, isn't it?
Absolutely, and if you look at the legal framework, they are all following the same legal framework, and it's the International Health Regulations of 2005, which give WHO, the World Health Organization based in Geneva, the power to control how governments respond to this pandemic, which WHO has itself declared. And every country has a more or less identical pandemic plan, which hands power over to the World Health Organization, which allows the World Health Organization to take over the police and the health forces. And every country will set up a crisis committee which will determine, what vaccine centers are established, what groups are going to be targeted for vaccination, and so on. And that is the reason why it's so coordinated and synchronized, because there is a single body behind it, and this is the World Health Organization, the UN, and the people who back that, the banking cartel and family dynasty, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds.
Now, let's just back up a moment here, and for those people watching this video who don't know who you are and why we should be talking here in Vienna, can you just give a little bit of your background? The things that you shared with me personally, for instance, I didn't even know that you were at university in Edinburgh, how long you've been in Vienna, what you're doing here, and just a little bit of a bio. How did you get to this place? Sometimes you must wake up in the morning asking yourself the same question. How did you get here?
Well, my dad is Austrian, and my mother is from Ireland, and I was born in Switzerland. And I went to Edinburgh University, where I did English literature and language and a bit of philosophy and so on. And I came to Austria in the year 2000, and I started working here as a medical journal or as an editor for a medical journal, specializing in diabetes. And I quit that of my own free will and started writing for medical wires, Reuters Health, for the British Medical Journal, The Scientist, Nature, and so on. And so I acquired an understanding of the medical field and how to do research in this area. And then I eventually moved into renewable energy, because I believe that's a tremendous potential for humanity. Until one day, this winter, a neighbor showed me the report in a local newspaper saying that Baxter had contaminated this vaccine material, and 36 people had to go to hospital to be treated preventatively for the bird flu. And then, of course, I understood this was a tremendous threat, and that because biosafety level 3 regulations are in place in these sort of facilities, it can't have been an accident.
So your experience gained as a medical journalist immediately helped you to realize that something very unusual and important had happened here, is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also felt confident about doing the research into it and filing charges, which I did eventually. Because of that background, I had done quite a lot of work in that field, so I felt confident I could handle it.
Okay, now, something which I do want to ask you is that many people have understandably asked the question, who is this woman and where does she come from out of nowhere? And I can resonate with that, because people say that about us, and people feel sometimes an understandable sense of territoriality. It's like, wait a minute, this is my area, or wait a minute, I've been researching this for 20 years, or where's this newcomer come from? Now, were you conscious of the fact that when you started to write about this stuff, people would be saying, who is this person? We've never heard her name before.
I have to be honest and say my concern was to try and stop and publicize what I saw as a big crime and threat. I was very concerned that there was no publicity, no action being taken by the Austrian government, and that Baxter could release this material the day after.
And it should have been news headlines all over the world.
Absolutely.
It was underwhelming, wasn't it?
It was underwhelming, and that created the risk that they were just going to repeat the same maneuver, and a pandemic was going to be ignited. And because I myself had come to realize that the media was totally controlled through my own experiences working in the media, I didn't make too much effort in trying to alert the newspapers. I sent a story or the pitch to the BMJ. The editor wasn't interested. I wasn't too surprised.
That's the British Medical Journal.
Yes, for which I have worked. The Lancet wasn't interested. I sent it to the Austrian papers, no response. Profil, an Austrian magazine, actually wrote an article whitewashing Baxter, in spite of all my information. And so as an individual, I saw very few opportunities for halting this mechanism or truck that seemed to be hurtling towards, unleashing a pandemic. So I filed criminal charges in the hope of putting a spoke in the wheel and forcing an investigation. I'd never done that before. And
did you have professional help in doing that? Because I wouldn't know how to start filing charges against anybody.
Yes, to be honest, a lawyer did tell me I had to file criminal charges and where to go, and sort of the basic laws. So I did get that advice. On my mother's side of the family, there were some lawyers, and so my mum too was very good at kind of legal reasoning and stuff like that. And so I decided to give it a shot. I'd never done it before, but I thought I might as well give it a try. The evidence is there. It's just a question of laying it out clearly. So that's what I did, and the police did start investigating.
Is it the police here in Vienna?
Yes, yes. And my understanding is that 3 police forces are investigating: the police in Vienna, the police in Korneuburg, and the Unit for Protection of the Constitution and Fighting Terrorism was also investigating, and I know that for sure because I was summoned there for an interview. However, what has alarmed me is the fact that nothing has happened. The government is continuing to press ahead with its program of mass vaccination with these Baxter vaccines. There are no security checks in place to ensure that the material isn't contaminated. The situation is such that I might as well never have filed the charges. And last week, the head of the Unit for Protecting the Constitution and Fighting Terrorism was forced to resign, it seems, and replaced by somebody who appears to be much more loyal to the powers that want this vaccination program to go ahead. The same is true of the Austrian criminal police. The head was replaced by somebody who also has a track record of working for these so-called New World Order corporations. And so I increasingly feel these structures in government are not going to be effective in stopping and halting this danger, and that's why we have to now move towards organized civilian resistance to the vaccines.
But you must be encouraged, because parallel with your metaphorically waking up that morning to realize that, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? There's something happening that shouldn't be. A lot of other people all over the world have been becoming very aware of this and very active. You must be feeling heartened by that, yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, the response has been amazing and exponential. It's just every day it's amazing to see the progress, and today I heard that the Greek police are going to refuse and have officially refused to take the vaccine, which is quite a significant milestone. This is the police force which the government will rely on to force the Greeks to take a vaccine, because according to polls the Greeks do not want to take the vaccine. So eventually it will come down to the government having to either force them or try and frighten them into taking it by triggering a pandemic, and that's just one example. Germany, there's enormous resistance, and so is there in France, not to mention the USA, and increasingly in the UK. Unfortunately, my language skills are limited. I don't speak Spanish or any other language, So I'm only able to track and monitor what's happening in the countries where I speak a bit of the language, which is France, Germany, and English-speaking countries.
I just came back from Poland, where I gave a talk about a whole bunch of stuff, including this, to a large number of very awake and aware and concerned people. And I was heartened because, maybe like yourself, I didn't know anything about what was happening in Poland. People are very, very concerned. They're very aware that there's a problem here. It's being discussed a lot, and just now I showed you a document that had been prepared by a Polish, a very highly respected Polish medic, saying that this is completely out of order, it shouldn't be happening, the vaccines are likely to be contaminated, the whole thing is spurious. And there's evidence that this wave is sort of growing all over the world, and some of this has been caused by your own civilian initiative. Now, just to back up a little bit, somewhere down the line, and this may seem like quite a long time ago now, you lost your job probably because of this, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I mean, to be honest, I can't even remember now when it was, but I think it was at the end of June or the beginning of July. I was unceremoniously informed that I was not, the reports that I had been scheduled to write were not required, and since I'd been working there for almost 2 years without any complaint, and no reason was given, it was clear to me that this was connected with the fact that I had filed these criminal charges. And I also went to the US Embassy here in Vienna and filed charges with the FBI. In part it was a symbolic gesture, because the reputation of the FBI is perhaps not the greatest. But
those charges that you filed, was it with the FBI or against the FBI?
No, with the FBI.
So basically asking the FBI to investigate?
Yes.
And you filed them at the American Embassy
here,
in Vienna?
Yes.
Okay. Now, some people in America have tried to follow the paper trail and said that they couldn't find any evidence that these these charges had been filed. Is it possible that they never left whatever room it was which you filed them in the American Embassy?
Not really, because I even sent copies by email to actually various FBI departments, because I'm well aware in the meantime that there are within every police structure these people who are obstructing investigations. So my aim was not just to file them physically here in the US Embassy, but also to spread the word around other FBI departments throughout the USA, and I think I sent them to about 10 or 12.
Okay.
I was also assured by an agent working here at the US Embassy that she had sent the physical charges that I'd filed in the official post or whatever to the Washington headquarters, so that was an assurance
and you
I received.
Have reference numbers and records or some kind of a receipt?
No, to be honest, the FBI has not contacted me. I rang them and they informed me that I would not necessarily get contact from them. And the situation is the scale of my charges is just monumental in the sense that it kind of more or less alleges that the US government, pharmaceutical companies and banking cartels are operating together to push forward this mass murder program under the guise of offering people vaccinations. And so, I mean, I would have been amazed if they'd handled it as a regular kind of complaint, you know, and given it a file number and, you know, all the rest of it. It took a while for the Austrian police to assign a case number to my case too.
Okay. The reason behind my question there was there are some people who try to follow that trail, and they've said that they cannot find any evidence that in the American system that they've tried to find these things in, that these charges have been filed. I just wondered whether there's any answer that you can give to that in terms of a reference number. This is where you look, this is what it says.
No, I can't do anything, Bill, because
like
I filed them. I have the evidence that I sent them to the FBI. I have the emails. And what the FBI did, unfortunately, is outside my control. If they haven't registered it, if they haven't assigned it a case number, if they haven't recorded it as it is their duty and requirement to do so, that's their problem, and I'm not responsible for their lapses. And that's it. And anybody who wants the emails proving that I also email the FBI is very welcome to have them. I mean, I think they're even up on the web somewhere. So,
to some extent, what you did was almost like a symbolic act, as well as actually initiating charges, which actually is there's not the kind of thing that most people usually take it upon themselves to do. So it's quite a valiant David and Goliath action there. But it was symbolic and it was encouraging to a lot of people. Do you feel that people have responded to you in that way?
Well, I think, there's been, as you pointed out, a growing recognition that this really is a threat. And there's solid evidence that this is a threat. And this is something that I tried to lay out in the charges to explain the empirical evidence for my views. So people can read it through it and see why I've reached these conclusions. So can the FBI agents, so can the police and so on. On the other hand, there's no denying it, these structures are extremely corrupt, and if no investigation is initiated, no case file numbers are assigned, it becomes increasingly clear over time that we, the people, cannot rely on these so-called police and law enforcement branches to do their job and to protect us against a threat. And this is what's becoming increasingly clear, is that they're not doing their job, that the evidence is handed to them. They're not, arresting the people they should be arresting. They're not stopping the whole infrastructure for this mass vaccination program in spite of the dangers. And so at this point, people are realizing that the justice system, the law enforcement system, has nothing more to do with justice and law enforcement, and that it needs to be rebuilt and reconstituted. And indeed, our entire societies need to be reconstituted on the basis of law and order, justice, the Constitution, if we're to have any hope of a future.
Just before we went on camera here, we were talking a little bit about the UFO phenomenon, which is something that you don't even pretend to know anything about, and there's no reason why you should. It's a different area. And you asked me whether I believed in that kind of information, and of course the answer is that we do, because we've extensively researched it. But there are parallels here, that whichever line of investigation one follows in these alternative areas, whether it's alternative health, cancer cures, free energy, the suppression of all kinds of information and government activities that have been taking place for longer than you and I have been here, you find that there is obstruction in the organization of our governments and our military and our intelligence services. You'll find that the citizens, if you try to ask questions, you just don't get anywhere. You have to be very dogged. And then there are all kinds of psychological operations that are mounted against anyone who dares to stand up against Goliath in the way that you have done.
Certainly true. I mean, I was aware from my working within the mainstream media that it is systematically controlled by a central group who have economic interests with oil and renewable energy or whatever, or suppressing renewable energy. But what was new to me was the insight into the extent to which the alternative media also seems to be controlled. And when I tried to do what I could do, which was file these charges, publicize these charges, I found myself attacked and accused of having not filed the charges, of not existing, of all kinds of, lies. And the people who did it, I knew they were lying because they had the emails in their possession which showed that I'd filed, at least with the FBI, I'd done my bit. I can't be responsible for what the FBI does. So it became clear to me then that these people were actually trying to obstruct justice and obstruct the discovery and action against this program, and that they probably have been put in the alternative media long ago to direct people's attention away from the legislation which allows mass forced vaccination programs. Most people I've spoken to have never heard of it. They have no idea about the international health regulations and about the national pandemic plans that allow this. Somebody I know even wrote to the Austrian Health Ministry recently and inquired about this and was told by I think a lawyer or a senior official, that there was no way Austrians can be forced to take this vaccination. But this official obviously hasn't read the national pandemic plan and doesn't know about the international health regulations, which make it absolutely crystal clear that Austrians, in the event of pandemic level 6 emergency declaration, actually have to follow the orders of the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization can force people to take vaccinations and also to go into quarantine. So the extent of the ignorance of people about this vital legislation has astonished me. In fact, I didn't know about it till I did the research. And you would have thought that the alternative media would have been telling people about this for years, and informing them about this danger. But it seems they haven't been. It's a big knowledge gap here that has to be filled.
There's a lot of items on the interest and agenda list of the alternative media, and to some degree, like any media, they react to what the big story is right now. But they have reacted, and there is a groundswell of awareness and understanding, which does seem to be reaching places that it hadn't reached a little while before. So something's definitely moving here, isn't it?
Absolutely. The way I see it, in spite of the obstacles, in spite of all these obstructions, the word has got out with phenomenal, unbelievable speed, which I would never have believed was possible in a million years. It's just been a miraculous kind of almost inexplicable form of communication, to my mind, which has taken place,
If you see this as a game, and I don't use that word in a trivial sense, if you see this as a game, how is the game set up now? What do you think the moves in the game are likely to be? Are the citizens of the world starting to wake up more than was anticipated? What's likely to be the response? Can you think the way that they, whoever they is, how are they thinking, and what might they do?
Well, I believe that the speed of the awakening has taken these people by surprise and is making them extremely nervous and worried. And they have put in place this plan for the collapse of the economy, in parallel or in synchronization, this mass vaccination program, which is designed to kill or injure a large number of people. Then I think they have plans for famines and wars and various other things, and for moving countries under the control of the World Health Organization and the UN, which indeed would be the result of this pandemic declaration of one world government. I don't believe that they are very flexible and can see any way to back down now. So I think they're pressing ahead. They're even accelerating their efforts to get this vaccine into the population by stealth and secrecy. I think they're going to try and trigger a pandemic by whatever means they can in the next few days, weeks. They're going to be putting it up in schools, as well as injecting it into people. There was an incident in a Swiss train where vials of so-called swine flu that was supposed to be being transported to the National Flu Center exploded on a Swiss train.
Was that avian flu? Or
swine flu. That was swine flu, yes, in April. So we have some glimpse of the methods that they're willing to use to spread disease. Very, very curious incident why it was being transported on the train at all. And by accelerating this pandemic, by making it ever more virulent, they hope to panic people into taking the vaccine, which will make it truly disastrous and justify forced mass vaccinations. And I think they hope that the hierarchical structures and the habit of obedience will be sufficient in the panic and confusion that ensues to see them through this. That's what I think they hope and believe.
The habit of obedience, I love that term.
Unfortunately, all of us have to examine ourselves at this point and ask how far have we internalized a habit of deference and obedience that is really not justified and we need to regain our sense of our own.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We're there with you. Serious thing I go on the Cutting Edge, you know. I mean, it might not sound serious to you because you're not familiar with these information, but further down the line, you're going to realize there's some serious information further down the line. Okay, we're there with you. Make us see.
Follow Hooligan Friends present their greatest and their best musical ever. Ciao, Reggae Opera. A story of commitment to the poor, and all proceeds are for the poor. A Jamaican opera in reggae? Never before! By Father Hooligan Friends at the National Arena, October 2 and 3 and 9 to 11. Call 948-0280-990-9106. Don't you miss it!
Alive, Hero Stunfest and be a big bites. Government Yard Promotion presents Hero Stunfest Part 2, Punch Plaza Junction, St. Elizabeth, Sunday, October 18th, 09. Fighters from all over the island are there. Plus performance by Lady Star, Laddin, Terry Linen, Fontan Mocha, Jamierson, G-Wiz, Mr. Pepper, Sniper King, music by Black Love, Lake Richie, Kevin Serious, Bushman Movement, Admission, children only 3 bills, adults 800, 1,000 after 9. Start out, so we no worry, Hero Stunfest so happy. Daddy!
From you know what spend all you money make you pants go slap. Ready, ever ready, finance. You hosting everything but money you know pass. Ready, finance. So make your house look packed down. Who's ready finance come shut down. You don't need no collateral not no. With the ready finance card you hot down. Make we pre-approve your credit with your limit on spot. Shop now with a simple way to get credit and questions. Ready finance. From courts.
311, pass it on.
311, it's the one.
311, no, madon. 311, I'm on the run.
311, on my telephone.
311, hard to come.
You don't have to write it down. Don't have to see the ad. It's easy to remember, easy to call, toll free. Don't tell us your name, tell us what you know. Crime Stop 311 from any phone. 311, powered by Cable and Wireless. Crime Stop, solving crime pays.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We're there with you. We just go through our vibes pertaining to, for those of you who just joined me, you have been listening to an interview by a lady in Austria. She talking about something that relate to a whole heap of way, but it don't reach a level yet where we recognize. Because we hear about swine flu in Jamaica. Just the other day recently, the university, them locked down the university because of the same thing. And them declared a pandemic all over the world. Well, now we see the vaccine is now the problem now. Not the flu itself now, but the vaccine itself. Because now them want to inject youths with vaccination. And it's a weird thing about them people, you know, because them build up a propaganda machine, and then the propaganda machine now seep into your subliminal, and you start to accept the propaganda as true. And then them show you the thing for rectify the problem, which is them create the thing still and create the thing for rectify the problem. And we accept the thing where them make for rectify the problem also, which is them create it. But you know, we can't go outside of that thinking there, you know, because the way them do it, there's no logical explanation why you shouldn't do it. It's like in Jamaica when them say every child has to be vaccinated to go to school. It's like how them show it. It's like there's no earthly reason why you should have say you're not vaccinated youth for go to school. But guess what now? For those of us who don't want to do it, them say, look here, if you don't do it, your picnic can't go to school. So them catch you two ways. Them catch you with the propaganda say, if you don't do it, something not going to happen to your picnic. And then those who feel say something not going to happen to them say, well, if you don't do it, your picnic can't go to school. And now most picnic can't go to school in Jamaica if they don't get vaccinated. But this is not the vaccination where we are talking about, because after a long time, them are vaccinate people for go to school in Jamaica. This is a different vaccination now. This is a vaccination against what them want to call swine flu. This is a vaccination now where come on the people them now, where they say, look now, you have to vaccinate. You have to vaccinate because we don't want the flu spread. And the only way the flu can stop spread, in the way where we see it spread, which is not very big a spread, is to vaccinate. So them develop now a new thing to catch the people them in order to make some money and also take care of the excess population. This is the cutting edge, and I refer coming forward.
Swiss train where vials of so-called swine flu that was supposed to be being transported to the National Flu Center exploded on a Swiss train.
Was that avian flu?
Swine flu. That was swine flu, yes, in April. So we have some glimpse of the methods that they're willing to use to spread disease. Very, very curious incident why it was being transported on the train at all. And by accelerating this pandemic, by making it ever more virulent, they hope to panic people into taking the vaccine, which will make it truly disastrous and justify forced mass vaccinations. And I think they hope that the hierarchical structures and the habit of obedience will be sufficient in the panic and confusion that ensues to see them through this. That's what I think they hope and believe.
The habit of obedience, I love that term.
Unfortunately, we all of us have to examine ourselves at this point and ask how far have we internalized a habit of deference and obedience that is really not justified and we need to regain our sense of our own judgment and reliance on our own judgment and our willingness to stand up against patently corrupt and criminal authorities and refuse to go along with it. And that's why I'm now thinking that what we need is actually a kind of organized, peaceful revolution so that we can finally take back our governments, restore our legal systems and our constitutions, and rebuild our economies, our health system and our education system, and put these people who are responsible for this in jail once and for all, so that they cannot continue doing this damage to us. Or even here in Austria, I think the word is spreading and people are going to refuse. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. I mean, my hope would be that the movement reaches the point where the non-violent refusal will be more than enough to destroy and shatter this plan.
Some people have written to us and they said, look, you're not going to have a policeman with a gun knocking on your door accompanied by a doctor with a syringe. They haven't got the resources to do that. How actually could they enforce it if they wanted to? How could it happen? What would be the sanctions which they have?
Well, the French government released or circulated to the heads of departments an internal document of 19 pages which outlined quite clearly their method. And this is what I assume is happening in every country. They're going to set up vaccine centers that are outside hospitals and GPs. Some of these are going to be secure. People are going to be told to go there first of their own free will, and then they're going to receive calls, whatever, telling them to appear at a certain time. And those people who do not come are going to eventually be collected and forced to go there.
Do the resources exist to actually do that? Because you're talking about transporting and enforcing and rounding up and making contact with hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, absolutely. If so many people refuse, it will be impossible. But they are assuming that the vast majority of people will either go of their free will, or when they get the call from, say, a police authority telling them to appear, or the notification, they will go reluctantly, but they will still obey that call. And the number of people who will actually refuse to go and stay at home when they're informed it's a criminal offense not to go will be very small, and it will be a criminal offense not to go. So they're assuming that the vast majority of people, when they get a call out of the blue as is planned in Switzerland, that the police go through the registry of people who live in a canton, ring them up and tell them to go to the vaccine centres, that most will do it. And that there will be actually very few that need to be collected by the police. I think they have special pandemic police task forces there. They won't be counting too much on the regular police to do this. And they anticipate, I think, that they can go around and collect those people. However, if it turns out that hundreds of thousands and millions refuse to go, then they cannot carry it through. And that's why it's important for every single person to say no and not to go along with it.
So it's a propaganda war.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't have the resources. They're relying on people going of their free will to these vaccine centres. And then they're relying on just being able to make a call to people, telling them it's a criminal offence not to go, putting psychological pressure on people to go. And then they're relying on a very relatively small number of people actually saying, no, I'm staying in my home, I'm not going on any account, and waiting for the police to knock on the door and drag them off. And at that point, they will have sufficient forces, if few people do it, to actually go around and collect people from their homes.
Now, fear and concern for one's personal safety is a great motivator. Are you expecting, just as in 1918, that there's going to be a second wave of the existing swine flu in a mutated form, which really is a problem, accompanied by very alarmist media reports showing people dying in funerals and all of this kind of stuff, that's going to scare people into lining up their voluntary vaccination?
Absolutely, it's already happening. I think the scientists in Canada have looked at people who've died from the so-called swine flu, and they found that those people have the damage to their lungs, which is consistent with them having got the bird flu. And so, how is this explicable? I mean, they must have been given the bird flu, so they've been getting it from somewhere, and it could have been from the kind of contamination of vaccine material that occurred here in Austria, where normal vaccine material was contaminated with the bird flu. So they're already starting and trying to trigger this really virulent pandemic. The CDC and the WHO has stopped counting or tracking these cases. So we could be seeing a multiplication of these virulent cases already now in the USA and Canada. And at some point, the media will focus on it. They will focus on the terrible deaths of these people from holes in their lungs and whatever. And in this moment of panic, when the vaccine centres are open, they'll be saying, those people who were saying it was the vaccine who got it all wrong, they were lying to you, it's actually the virus that's the real danger. And people in this fear and confused state of mind will think, maybe it was all lies about the vaccine, and they'll rush off and get their vaccine, which will then kill them and create an even more virulent virus. So that's
something which I realised just a short while ago was that in order to really introduce something dangerous to large numbers of the population, they don't have to vaccinate everybody. And just to illustrate the point, if I don't get vaccinated, but you do, and so does your friend, and then we all meet for dinner to talk about it, and I say, well, I'm all right, I haven't been vaccinated, there's something now cooking in your bodies that I'm going to catch simply because we shook hands over dinner.
Absolutely.
So they don't have to get everyone, right?
No, I mean, I think that they would also like to use the opportunity to put in people these nanochips. There's mounting evidence that Baxter and so on is planning to put into its swine flu vaccine these nanochips. And certainly WHO has put in place the legal framework and the technical framework to vaccinate everybody. So I think they really are aiming for maximum possible coverage. But to kill people, they don't need to vaccinate everyone. They just need to vaccinate enough people to unleash this really virulent pandemic. Eventually, people will just put on their face masks or use their colloidal silver. Sensible people will already be thinking of taking these measures. If there's any threat of a virus, they'll be having their face masks on and boosting their immune systems with vitamin C.
And D3, I believe.
D3. And so to try and reduce the number of people who survive by taking these measures, I think they would like to get as many vaccinated as possible, because this will mean the disease goes straight in your bloodstream, and there's nothing you can do basically once it's there.
Okay, so what you're flagging up here is that there are two scenarios going on here. There's and this all sounds very black and stark, but there's the genocide scenario and there's the total control scenario, and they can go hand in hand with each other.
Yes, I believe that's the plan. The WHO has, I understand, put in place this comprehensive electronic surveillance system already, and as soon as we get our nanochips with all this information about our health from the health insurance associations or whatever, they'll be able to track us by satellite and computers or whatever they have for the rest of our lives, even if we survive the pandemic, the vaccination, the wars, the famines and so on. So in this way they will have managed to not only establish one world government, but also a technical structure to control every single one of us on the planet.
We've had it told us by a number of insiders on and off record that this whole structure just exists already. They've got the databases, they've got a lot of information on most people. They're doing all this for a reason. This is like the final match that's lit to the fire, if you like.
Yes, yes.
So my question to you then is based on what you know, because you must also have people writing to you, presumably confidentially offering information.
I've had a few private confidential emails from people who've been saying they agree with what I'm saying and with the bioterrorism charges, but because of their position they're not able to come out and say that openly, and obviously I don't publish that kind of thing either. But I'm not a gold mine of secret information. The thing is, it's all out there. It's all out there if you just read the pandemic plans, you read the international health regulations and so on. The reason why people are mystified is because the mainstream media consistently deflects attention from these key crucial facts or puts a spin on them, which misleads people about what their nature like, saying this pandemic is natural and caused by pigs when it's never been found in pigs. It's not new. The swine flu, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, has been, at least there was an article documenting cases of it in people since 2005, 2009. Wasn't spreading, wasn't lethal. The mainstream media is what's really mystifying, misleading people, and all I'm doing is looking at the facts behind the media and bringing them together into relationships so that people can see the bigger pattern. That's it.
What's the time scale, do you think, from here? This is the 8th of September, and we'll get this out in the next few days if I possibly can do, because time is of the essence. What do you think is going to happen as we roll on towards the new year?
Well, I think these few weeks are crucial to our humanity. I believe all the plans are in place to start these vaccination centres from October, and indeed people are going to be offered time off work in cities like Boston, 2 hours I think on paid leave to go and get their swine flu jab. Kids are going to be offered it free or whatever, so everything's going to be done at first to persuade people to take this vaccine, and this already we have to stop that. We have to make sure the protest is significantly large. These vaccine centres do not stop injecting children, the gullible, the uninformed, whatever, with disease which can then be transmitted to other children sitting in schools, to their parents, and then to the colleagues at work.
It's a perfect place to spread it all in schools.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, in the army is another place. The soldiers are very vulnerable. They seem to be the first ones as well to get these mass post-vaccinations. So we don't have a minute to lose. It's going to be too late when the calls finally come through, the forced vaccinations, demands come through, barring a miracle. So far they haven't managed to spark the virulent pandemic they hoped to. in April. I think they really hoped that they had set free a virus that was going to mutate and become very virulent, and they didn't manage it. And maybe they won't manage it this time either, but the more people they vaccinate, the greater the chances are that they really will spark a lethal pandemic. Bear in mind, Baxter's 72 kilos of live bird flu virus is still in the company's possession and could be put into the vaccines here. And if every Austrian or every third or second Austrian gets it, it spreads rapidly to Germany, to Czech Republic, to Slovenia, to Poland, and will kill many, many people.
Well, it spreads almost instantly nowadays in these days of modern travel. I mean, in 1918, people were travelling by steamships, and this is rather different now.
Yes, and particularly because of schools and workplaces and so on. So I think we don't have that much time. I think they want to, or reckoning with being able to move towards forced vaccinations towards the end of the year, maybe kind of gradually from November, December, January. But I think we have to stop even the voluntary mass vaccinations starting from October.
So, what's your message to people here? Because some people will be watching this thinking, right, I'm going to get my colloidal silver and everything else, and I'm not going to be vaccinated, and thanks for the information. But is that enough?
Well, I personally believe it isn't, because we're in a situation here where even if you have your colloidal silver and your face mask, your neighbor might get vaccinated, or you might be in contact with somebody at work. So it's in the interest of everybody to try and stick together and do things like protest outside the vaccine centres, protest to make sure schools stay closed. There's no reason to keep them open, or if kids have to go to these schools, they should be given face masks and other sensible measures to protect them in school from these viruses. So I believe that we should all be looking out for each other, because ultimately we're looking out for our own interests when we stop this pandemic from being ignited and gathering speed. However, if all you're willing to do is take the colloidal silver and the face mask, fine, as long as you're willing then, when the order comes for you to take it or to go to quarantine, to resist at that point, or be faced with being imprisoned or whatever. At that point, I would suggest it's getting a little bit late.
How much support are you getting personally? How do you feel? Because you're like a lonely soldier here fighting this in Austria, sort of unconnected, at least physically, with the rest of the world. What is it that sustains you and keeps you going and gives you the strength to keep on fighting? Because it's not easy, is it?
Well, I have to say, I look at the evidence and I see that there is a real threat also to me. I mean, I am also going to be one of the people who could be infected by this pandemic virus, or could be forced to take this vaccination, and stand to criminal if I don't take it. And this is not a very palatable kind of prospect, and it's not exactly how I, want to spend my time, ill or sick or prematurely dead from something like this. So I'm motivated also by self-interest, as well as the desire to see other people, of course, freed from this threat. But
do you have a team who are working with you? Do you feel supported logistically, emotionally, financially, or is it just really that you're just standing alone here in Vienna?
Oh no, I mean, I have Johan Niklasen in Switzerland has volunteered to put up my website.
I met him the other day. He's a wonderful man.
Yes, and he's done great work and put up a wonderful website, and and a lot of people support and send emails and reports and information that I put up on my website and so on. Here in Austria, there's somebody who has an email database of 140,000 emails who's starting to send out information, so even the Austrians are getting to hear of what's happening. So I certainly feel not alone. However, there's no doubt about it that I, for example, have very little financial resources or whatever, and I, more or less have to try and scrape by, and this limits how effective I can be. I can't cover countries or outside of Europe, or try and launch the kind of legal action that I would have wished to launch, the injunctions in places like Africa or Latin America. no substantial funding has come from any source whatsoever to help in this battle. So it's been individuals sending relatively small sums of money, or offering to do things like DVD or whatever, that has nevertheless been very, very important.
And you're personally contactable. If there's anyone watching this now who's able to offer material support in a position to do that, they can reach you through your website, right?
Yes, so they can just find my email address. I am certainly very visible, I think, for anybody who wants to actually, contact me. But so far there has been no foundation or wealthy person or anything like that who has offered support. And I'm not even saying they need to offer me personal support, but there's been no major support for any injunctions or any kind of these legal actions or for the movement as a whole. It really is a grassroots movement, and that's a heartening thing to see, that it has become very strong in spite of the fact there has been very little support.
Well, your work is an inspiration to many others, may I say. I think this really is a David and Goliath example that you've given a lot of people here. Are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? Or are you depressed about the whole thing, thinking, my God, we're all about to be wiped out here? Or do you think that it's just something which is going to work out well, but we've got to do a lot of work between now and then?
Well, my heart tells me, without any doubt, this is going to work out well for humanity. My mind looks at the evidence and I get worried. And, unfortunately, I think we all have to play our role. It'll depend on every single person now. The structures in government have failed us. They're against us. They're actually turning against us to try and destroy us. And it really is up to every single individual now to stand up, say no, and organize to remove these structures once and for all, and open the way for us, every single person, to have a new future of dignity, of freedom, where we can enjoy lives free of stress, free of worry, as we were meant to enjoy our lives, and open the way for the next generation to have a proper, healthy opportunities, sensible working conditions, good education systems, and for humanity to begin a new era free of these monstrous plots against us.
Jane Burgermeister, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
More than a radio program, it's an institution on radio.
Yeah.
The Cutting Edge on IRI FM with Muta Baruka.
Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on IRI FM. We're there with you. We just, for those of you who just join me, you miss it. A serious tape, a serious DVD, a serious CD. You know what I mean? It's serious. It might not look like anything right now. As we say, sometimes when you hear something, you just brush it off until the major media network them start pick it up. When we say major media network, now we are talking about like where you start read it all in the Gleaner and read it in your newspaper and you hear all some radio lifetime, this show and that the show start pick it up. Then you go say, wait, right? Oh, nobody never tell you that. But you didn't hear it. You didn't hear it at the middle of the night. And what it shows is you hear it from you pass it up. It's a serious thing. And we are get email from all over the world. May I tell you, we are get email from all over the world. We get email from England, Switzerland, Holland, Germany. Right, it look like more people. New York. People add them little P's and little twos in the world reasoning. Yes, Cutting Edge.
Yeah, no, Muta, I respect that. I hear the reasoning, and I really like how you put out to youth. I mean, I am on a 26-year-old I call from Mumbai, and I love the topic them each day and more and me hear them. You see me, I say?
Yeah, man, give thanks, man.
Yeah, man, you do all heap, man, I see enough things, man. When I respond, sorry, just some people say Muta this, but I don't know how straight life, man, I deal it and I have to give praise to the eye. You see me, I say?
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Because you open my mind and open my vision for the Babylon, them, I do youth, them, and really nice. You see me, I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... continue the program.
Yeah, man, give thanks,
love it. But no, still, you know, someone like a tape, but still, if I don't know, problem still.
Yeah, we would have a figure that out. It's a DVD.
Yeah, man, I like a DVD, man. Trust me, people that move around me see what go on, because they done blind already. It's me, I say, because they ignorant to certain things. As well, lady, they talk on the interview, you see me?
Yeah, man.
So, blessed and more lifestyle, respect, yeah?
Yeah, man. We want to tell you one thing, you know, Mama Fire, remember, you know, the youth council said them a come up so Sunday, come give the strength. Right up at Portland there, we'll go up there one Sunday and get strength. We'll go up there again still. But we're at the youth initiative, Rastafari Youth Initiative Council coming up there on Sunday. So those of you who want to make the track go up at Portland there, Mama Fire, you can get the direction when you reach our gates. Everybody knows about Mama Fire gates there. It's right on a little road there, like you go up to, where them call it? Spring? Something like that, spring there. Anyway, I build up a nice little vibes up there, and the strength needed up at Portland there. And we hear that the Youth Initiative Council is going up there. I want to tell you that for those of you who know the Rotary Club, them having a evening of excellence Sunday at the Creative Arts Center at the University of the West Indies this Sunday. Jazz and things going on. Yeah, so I want to tell you that the National Heroes Day celebration Monday, October the 19th at Raytown and Ray Street between Paradise Street and Water Street, all day and all night affair. Yes, so we want to know that we're going to carry the moving network, moving mobile down there. Yes, show some movie down in a Raytown there. yeah, art and craft, seal and all them something that we're going down there. So that is Monday, October the 19th. And it's free business, you know. Yes. You don't have to jump over the wall. Yes. So, that's what's going on. Yeah, the information that we give you, take it how you want to take it. And do what you want to do with it. As we usually say. It's just information we are pass on. You know, see it? Yes. And that's what they have to do. Pass on the information. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Edge, there with you.
Yes, Muta, greetings and blessing, love, my Lord.
As is.
As is. Yeah, man, boy, I must want to echo the virgin that we called earlier, I said, my Lord, yeah, man, give thanks for that, you know, and all information that you have give out and thing, you know. I call from Austin, Texas, you know.
I tell you, I pure foreign business where I get in at night, man.
But here,
Switzerland, Germany, England, New York. So what you say?
Yeah, because besides you one time I asked, you know, a place called Flamingo Canteen. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
A long time, see?
Yeah.
I remember that show that I come out to my lad, enough white people there, and the people them leave and say, yeah, man, racist and thing, and, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't know it go already, you know. Yeah. I just tell them always say, but we see the information when I give out my lad, some important information. Because about 2 months ago, a virgin of mine called me and said, Jerry, you need to link on that show, because I know you love them kind of reason why I go on, you know. Yeah, your Muta reason and thing. I say, yeah, man, no, log on. I'm saying, log on, my lad. Wednesday, no missile, man, my lad, because you say right now, that little thing here in front of me, I look up and say, who murdered Africa? And on the front side, right, you have 3 guys and a little monkey, right? Now the 3 guys have 2, them have something marked on them who them is CDC, the WHO, WHO, and NCI.
All right.
With CDC, you don't know, say, the control, CDC, Center for Disease Control, right? The WHO is the World Organization, and NCI, National Cancer Institute. And them same boy, like the doctor was saying in the video, the thing around the DVD business there. It's Derek, Maryland, right on the base, the man, them cook up them thing, and them boy, them do them thing here for a long time, my lord, and them have it, and them say Africa, I come from, and all them.
Yeah, man.
You know, yeah, man, them propaganda and thing, you know. And, boy, I'm so, you know, so I just love hearing information because my lord, I'm doing that for about 1973. I come at 11 years old, I'm touch parent. I say,
long
show
time
your
there,
man
man.
from 11 years old. You hear me?
Yeah.
And this time I'm Muta, I'm 49 right now, so you can go on to the math.
A long time there, man. Long time there.
Yeah, man, a long time there. I'm saying my life just choose the Celestia, you know, and choose the vibes and, you know.
So you know come back to Jamaica? You know come back to Jamaica?
Well, about 5 times I come to Jamaica since I left Jamaica in 73, you know. Jano. And so, yeah, man, so me have actually picked them got college on that thing, you know. I try to show them what I deal with, for them. I say, boy, that you have this conspiracy theory thing. I was that tune don't know and thing, you know. And, you know, so you say about that conspiracy. I don't think they're going to because.
Yeah, but
right,
them also sell you to know, make it start to say a conspiracy theory too. No go so.
No, sir, but me definitely long time come and notice it goes so. Well, I'm talking about, you know, like how the boy Kalafi, that talk about the idea about, if you look on the assassination of JK and everything, that's some true thing.
But them a link it to Obama, no?
Yeah, man.
But them a go and like say, them don't understand what I say. I mean, them understand what I say, but them a say, how foolish it is.
You see me?
And them a link the swine flu with the vaccine thing.
Let me say, see me down here from 73, Muta. And like I said earlier, my last go to my closet right now, I can't find one suit. You might have a little sport jacket and a little jacket here, we'll go to that thing, but it's a jacket and tie business. Me never day night, and so me I listen to hear to them, tell me, say, boy, Muta. And the seal spirit, and the seal spirit goes down there, so I'm name their own elders, and I just book them a day, and just hold the meds, and, you know, and two say, you know, my grandmother always tell me, say, you can't take me to Africa, but you can't take Africa out of me. You can't take me. You can't take me to Rasta. You see that, say?
Yeah, man.
So I just say, you know, because I'm born in Kingston, but I grew up in Glengarry and Catherine, and right there, so I'm free town.
You left your 30 years ago. Nearly 40 years ago, you go.
Yes, I am. Sighted again to the next place in Houston, at the I-Fest. And you come next time and read, no, that's one thing. That different crowd there, so you do it, because I know I'm more African did it, so.
Me I go there the next week too, you know.
I lie.
I know it's true. Sankofa. Them have a Yoruba, them kind of, what them call, caravan to the ancestors. Sankofa, caravan to the ancestors in a Houston. Yeah, man, we go down there, man. We go down there and celebrate with the Yoruba priests and priestesses and...
Yes. So what exactly the date?
The 15th to the 17th, them say.
Alright.
15 to the 17th. Yeah, you can go to the Sankofa caravan to the ancestors. I will see it.
Yeah, man, we'll link on and things, yes, sir.
Blessed here, brethren.
Yeah, man, so guys, for protection again here. Until you come to us, so you can definitely come link, you know, yeah, but keep on doing the work, smile, and more powers, you know, more strength, you know, more energy.
Yeah, man, a serious thing.
Yeah, Muta.
Yeah, man, blessed man.
Yeah, man, I want more foreign call again, you know.
From which part is your call from?
Man, I'm bridging from Canada, man.
Canada, oh, you the man?
Yeah, man, me alright, man.
Well, a pure foreign call we get tonight, trust me.
But actually, because people will come foreign and get used to a liberal environment, really see the problem with Jamaica, you know. You see, I say you have to left Jamaica for really see the problem with Jamaica, really, you know.
Yeah, but me there, I mean, you can't see it too.
Yeah, because you don't really concern me, Muta. This Caroline Cooper, Professor Caroline Cooper, she write an article in the Gleaner and say abortion is human right. And the amount of woman where are right back and opposed to this, and like they don't realize that the man them set that thing will fundamentally oppress them. You see what I'm saying?
May I listen, man? May I listen?
You know them so comfortable with colonialism.
But you don't have to leave Jamaica if you know that, man.
Yeah, but man, you know, when me show you a situation how it's hypocritical, the man them force the girl them to left high school young. When them could have correct them mistake the next morning, them could have correct them mistake then, but them have forced woman them to left them high school young. But yet if they meet a woman in the future with 2 degrees, we have 5 abortion already. Them quicker for marriage to that woman.
Yeah, but how we reach our abortion so now and them subject and a different subject with that, but you never listen to the program.
Yeah, man, listen to the program.
Then how you going for the next
church to pay tax.
Eh?
I agree with the two say church to pay tax, because when Benny in and them man they come heal people and left the country tax free. It's kind of disturbing too.
Yeah. Yeah, well that's true. But but when I say with the part thing about the virus thing, I say it's gone straight in our
but even that, even the H1N1. Yes, me still have my views upon that because
tell me of you. Tell me of you.
Yeah, me not believe in the vaccination because see first time I catch measles at Spanish Town Primary. I did day after them give me the vaccination for measles, you know.
You catch it?
Me catch it because I'm mild farm, but my body give a serious allergic reaction to it. Yeah. So the vaccine, we don't know how safe them is, and we have to be very aware of corporate science.
Yeah, well, corporate cannibals, digital criminals.
So corporate science is a very serious thing. Remember the millennium bug?
Yeah.
Everybody just figure about it after they kind of bag of people to buy much software.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to realize the science is a big business, you know, pharmaceutical.
Yeah, because them not tell you say everything I go lock down, man. All computers are going lock down.
How much money? Remember that time Bill Gates gets very, very rich.
Yeah, the amount of things where people go buy up because them feet everything are going
Windows are 99%, 90% of the world, you know. Run for Windows, you know. I just North America alone did I use Mac, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the whole world I use Windows.
Yeah, 90% of the world use Windows. Only North America alone use Macintosh.
Yeah. And them frighten the people, them I make the people them go buy this, and they know them are frighten the people them with swine flu.
Yeah, but it's a corporate science, and you have to look out for that too.
Yeah, man, definitely. Anyway, we have to move Virgin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, good thanks. I tell you, man, I serious thing the Virgin just bring up a while ago. When them talk about the millennium bug, man, everybody run go buy this and run go buy that because them a try to prevent it. And it just make money.